Smile. Hey guys, it's Mr. J, or Joker, or the one behind the cosplay, J Road. And I just got back from an awesome movie. It was Independence Day 2. Kidding. No, I just got back from The Killing Joke, and holy crap, it was really, really good. Um, I'll go into. I really like this movie. If you're a fan of the comic, you will too. If you're a purist, there might be some stuff that's annoying, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy just on point, perfect. Um, so I thought here are the things that I didn't like, and then I'll go over what I really did like. And warning, spoilers. So if you have not seen it, but if you've read the comics and you think that I'm not going to spoil things, there is stuff from that is not in the comics that is in the movie. So just spoilers, turn the video off, just forget it. But if you haven't, well then keep watching. So this movie does not open up with the way I thought it was, which I thought it was going to be a direct adaptation, which it is kind of. But there is this kind of 30 minute episodic thing with Batgirl where it's really contrived, and then there's a kind of sex scene with Batgirl and Batman, which I also thought was kind of I've never been a fan of that pair. I really thought it's not very canon. I never really liked Barbara with Bruce ever. I thought that was odd. And it shows Barbara's character development, I feel. Oh, I'm probably going to get backlash for this, but this is because they didn't want to have a lot of the backlash of the claims that The Killing Joke is sexist because of that stupid cover controversy, which you're getting mad at a villain for doing villainous things. It's dumb to me. I mean, this was a comic book that pushed the limits then. I think it should have pushed the limits now. But overall, that wasn't too bad. The only thing I didn't like was some of the car chases. They had a little bit too CGI of animation. Like, you could tell there was this difference between it, and it looks nice, but there's some points where I'm like, you might as well have just hand drawn it. It would have looked better. But I get why they did it. It's probably because it was cheaper. But later on, some of the other car things where it looks a lot more 2D are phenomenal. Like, just amazing. Especially the actions. Okay, now to get into the things I did like. After that 20-minute thing where they had this freaking that whole stuff with Batgirl, it went straight almost into a direct adaptation. Like with Batman going to Arkham and finding that the Joker's escaped. That was a wonderful, amazing scene. Like, oh, it was so cool. And it was just really cool to hear Mark Hamill do it. And score, if you've read The Killing Joke, you know what I'm talking about. But it's another to hear Mark Hamill, like the Joker, the quintessential Joker, doing it, and to a Broadway kind of show tuney song. It was awesome, so cool. Um, anyways, I really enjoyed it. Then there was a little bit of a kind of like added tacked on part. I think like it was after the credits, but I think it was a little too tacked on because I've always liked how The Killing Joke ends. I know that there's issues of whether or not Batman really kills him, and they do leave it just as ambiguous as the comic, which that's how I always took it. That's how I always liked to take it. I get that's not how it went in the canon, but Killing Joke was never originally meant to be part of the canon. So, uh, yeah, like this movie, it came out swinging. The opening 20 minutes aren't as strong as the rest of the movie. There are some genuinely creepy things that are added, but the rest of the movie just holds up. And the Joker transformation scene from when he's just the average guy to the Red Hood, uh, from the Red Hood to the Joker, is phenomenal. It is just Mark Hamill doing Mark Hamill. And the best part was before the movie they had a little snippet of just like this kind of commentary of Mark Hamill talking about how he became the Joker and how how he thought about the voice and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. Then we also got to see Music to Madness, which was a kind of small documentary on them making the music for the movie, and the music to it has got a phenomenal score, a wonderful, just great score. Like I said, Tara Strong, Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, their voices are perfect on spot. It is a solid flick. I will praise this movie as one of the best DC movies. Actually, you know what? This is before I've seen Suicide Squad, so I cannot judge it to that yet. But I will say, for this year, for 2016, this is the best movie to have Batman in it this year as of this point right now. So I will be seeing Suicide Squad in 2 weeks, and I will make them. I will decide then. But for me personally, this was the Batman movie of the year. It was phenomenal. Uh, so, just a little history note and some context of The Killing Joke, which I have the deluxe edition. I picked it up at Barnes Noble a while ago. But originally, I read this in high school. It was one of the very first Batman ones that really got me into thinking comic books, could be really dark and serious. Because I read this a long time ago, and then I always thought this is one of the quintessential stories um, regarding just origins. And then when you actually look into it, this was not meant to be part of the canon universe. This was not meant to be part of Marv Wolfman's post pre-crisis DC canon, like DC proper. This was supposed to just be a single offshoot, but it was so popular, people liked it so much that they amalgamated it in. Because originally, for those who don't know, The Killing Joke is Batman breaks and kills the Joker at the end. That is what the last panels are. Uh, that's how I've always interpreted it. Yeah, that's how I've always thought of it. But you know what? If you are a Batman fan, read this. If you haven't already, I highly recommend it. One of the best Joker and Batman stories because you get to see the human side of the Joker. What made him that way, and then you're still not even sure if that's true or if he's just imagining him as he goes along. And that's what makes this one of the best, craziest, like darkest comic books. And I still think for its time it was avant-garde, and it still to this day is one of the best because Moore or just does Alan Moore knows how to fucking write a story. Okay, he just does. So yeah, Killing Joke, highly recommend it. This was actually probably my favorite Batman story, and I don't take that lightly. I'd have to say Hush, Long Halloween, Night Owls. Those are all up there. I also really like The Crisis on Infinite Earth. storylines and the Light Wars. Well, for those who are, like I always loved that stuff. But when it comes to just Batman on his own, definitely up there. It stood the test of time. This has stood the test of time, and its new iteration hasn't read it yet. Just I take a quick brief look at it before watching the movie. I'm a big believer in reading the stuff before you see a film, but you know what? This is so close that it's almost dialogue memorized from this, and I was saying it word for word with Mark Hamill, and like I was so happy. So yeah, best Batman movie of the year. Uh, I got to see it in a special screening. If there's anywhere on a big screen, see it. Don't wait, see it. I know that they were only doing this one night, but if they do it again, if they promote it around you, go out and see it. So I will say it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but I can live with the imperfection. I can forgive it for that first 20 minutes because the rest held up and it was strong and it just got you through to that ending. And yeah, like if really realistically, if you just chopped off that 20 minutes and that little scene at the end, I would probably not complain one iota at all. Um, so yeah. And for those of you who have read it or have seen it, I just want to go out on this message. Here's to crime.